Hey guys, so I am here today to share some updates with you regarding my bullet journal. I have gotten lots of questions and requests to kind of share an update on how I'm using my bullet journal. So that's what I'll be showing you today. If you have no idea what a bullet journal is, I will leave a link down to the original video down below made by the creator of the bullet journal, and his name is Ryder Carroll. In this video, I will not be going through all the pages in my current bullet journal. I have a separate video for that I will link for you somewhere on the screen and also in the description box if you're interested in a full walkthrough of my current bullet journal. What I will be covering in this video are three major components. One being things that I've learned that weren't working for me since the current setup, the changes I've made that I find are useful to the way that I plan, and then I'm going to be ending with some of my favorite parts or elements of my bullet journal. For reference, this is my first ever bullet journal and I'm almost done with it. This notebook lasted me about 7 months and I have about 4 pages left. So the first thing I want to share are some pages that I ended up not using. And those are my context pages. I originally set them up because, let's say I'm out running errands in certain neighborhoods, I wanted to write down things that I needed to do or pick up. But I found that whenever I was going to, the bank or, running errands in Shinsa, I live in Korea, I would just kind of have them on my phone, like in the note section. And so for the most part, these pages have been left blank. So I will not be transferring these pages over into my next bullet journal. Some other context pages that I ended up not using are my Amazon and Timon Gmarket pages. And basically Timon and Gmarket, they're kind of equivalent to Amazon.com. So originally I thought that if I needed to order things from either site, I would just keep a running list here. But I ended up just using my Amazon wish list in my Amazon account, and so that's why this page is pretty much blank, and the same thing here for Timon and Gmarket. So now going into some changes that I've made and really liked is with my reference pages. An example of a reference page is this one right here. This is where I wrote down the shades I am for different foundations, and when I'm doing a product review or my viewers were to ask me what shade I was in a certain foundation, this was an easy reference point for me. But in my last video, I mentioned that this isn't something that I want to keep copying over when I start a new bullet journal. So for something like this, or my makeup shades for my concealers, something like this that I don't need to go back to all the time, I have decided that I'm going to keep a digital copy on my phone, so I will no longer be using reference pages inside my actual bullet journal. This is an example of my previous weekly spread, and these post-its here, they don't mean anything. I just have them on top to cover some sensitive information, and the post-its on the side, they're just to help me walk you guys through this video. So I hope they're not too distracting. But yeah, this was my previous weekly spread, and what I used to do was I would plan out my week here, just some major tasks that I needed to take care of, and I had a meal planning section here, which I didn't use every day. And this last section over here, I used to keep a list of things that I'm grateful for. This was my gratitude tracker, and yes, I know how to spell gratitude. I think I need to point that out because I have a video series called Gratitude, and it's about having an attitude of gratitude. So the reason it's written with the 2 T's is, putting the 2 words together, gratitude and attitude. But someone got really annoyed at me in my last video saying that I couldn't spell. So just to be clear, I do know how to spell. So this spread worked just fine for me for a while, but I knew that if I wanted to change it up, I could always do that in the future, and that's one of the beautiful things about a bullet journal. If something doesn't work for you, you can always switch it up. So this is my current weekly spread, and I am really, really happy with this. I find that it's really functional for me. So on my weekly spread, I get a visual of my entire week, and I'll look through my Google Calendar and write down things that are specific to the days that, they'll occur or need to be taken care of. Yeah, and so I will go ahead and write down the events, the tasks, and little notes. And what the crossouts mean, if you look up here in the key, it says move to daily pages. So for example, on Monday, I know that I have these appointments. I need to wash our sheets in the guest room because we had guests staying with us, and I needed to read my Bible. So once I wrote this out for Monday, this is what my daily bullets look like. So I will, on this blank page, I'll start writing down my tasks for Monday. And once I transferred over from my weekly spread over onto my daily bullets, I would go ahead and cross it out with this colored pencil. And that just helps me understand what actually gets moved over to my daily bullets. A new thing that I added to my weekly spread are my little list of intentions, and they change every week. So this is like a nice way for me to focus on certain things instead of having, like a month-long habit tracker or something. I wasn't really interested in that. And, I wanted to be flexible in case I wanted to switch things out every week. So for this week, in November, some of my intentions included no spend. So any day that I didn't spend any money, I would just color in with this same colored pencil. Did I drink enough water? And that's really relative, but I'm really bad about staying hydrated all day. So I just kind of go by feel with this. Did I do a face mask? And did I have at least 2 hot drinks that weren't coffee? And then I created a to buy section here for, it could be groceries or home supplies, whatever I felt like I needed to place an order for that week. And then morning chats. And if you guys are new to my channel, morning chats is a video series that I have here where I upload a video on Mondays. And anytime there are topics that I want to discuss, I'll write it down for the week so that I can, reference this page when it's time to film. On the bottom here at the end of each day in the pink ink, I wrote down a few things that I was grateful for. So this is another example of my weekly spread, and it's not too different from what I showed you here. This one's more current. It's the week of January 9th. I did take out the to buy section. I found that it wasn't really necessary. And what I did add was the to do this week part. And I really found this helpful because there were certain tasks I needed to get done. Like for example, I wanted to ask my friend Andrew if my sister could borrow his camera. And that didn't need to happen on any specific day this week, but I knew I wanted to take care of it sometime this week. As for my intentions this week, they're different from the intentions that you saw for the week of November 14th. And here I was a bit more specific, and I wanted to drink at least 1 Swell bottle, and that didn't happen, so it didn't get colored in. And sometimes I wasn't perfect, even though these events happened. For whatever reason, I didn't use my bullet journal that day, and so I never actually transferred these over to my daily bullets, and that's why they're not crossed out with this color pencil. You may notice that my weekly spreads don't have my gratitude log anymore, and that's because I wanted to dedicate 2 separate pages a month for them. If you guys remember from my last video, I like to put a strip of washi tape for my monthly calendars just so that I can locate them easier. And the 2 pages before my monthly spread is where I like to keep a gratitude log. And I don't write in it every single day, but if I have my journal nearby and there's something that is worth remembering, I will go ahead and write it down. Another thing that I decided from this month, February, that I wouldn't continue to do is to keep my skincare and makeup log. So originally my intent with this was, any products that I was currently using in my rotation or products I was testing out, I wanted to log the days that I used them and take notes on this page in terms of how my skin was behaving. Because of the nature of what I do test products and I receive products for review. I like to, keep a record of how my skin reacts. And while this sounds useful, I found that I didn't really enjoy doing this. It felt like a chore at the end of the day, and after the month is over, I didn't find that I really ever went back to previous months to look up this information. So for the month of February, I decided I will not be keeping a skincare and makeup log and then see how I feel. Maybe I'll change my mind and decide I want to get back to doing this for the month of March. Additionally, I'm more concerned about my diet and lifestyle choices, and I found that having this skincare log made me a little too focused on products alone. So that's another reason why I will be taking a break from keeping this log. So one thing that I became more flexible about is just taking notes in my bullet journal. And this is something that I needed to take care of in Korea. We just moved, so we needed to go and change our address. And while I was on the phone with the representative, she was giving me all this information, and my instinct was to just go and grab some scrap paper and just jot down notes because I didn't want to scribble and make my bullet journal ugly. But then, that's the whole point of having a bullet journal, is so that it serves you, it's functional. So while this isn't the most attractive page, I used to feel like, scribbling notes like this was a waste of space, but I no longer feel that way. So now going into the little things that I do to make my life easier and to make bullet journaling enjoyable for myself is, I don't have any fancy artwork, as you can see. And even, choosing a different colored pen and drawing this little really simple banner around the dates, it just brings a little bit of color into my daily bullets. And what I found is that instead of waiting to come home to have access to my whole pen collection so I can make it all colorful, I actually just choose one colored pen and I switch it out once a month. So for February, I decided to go with this purple pen, and I just pick a color pencil in like the same color range. And I will use this color and this color alone to draw the little banners around the days in this month. This is the color pencil that I will use to cross out the tasks that I transfer over from my weekly spread onto my daily bullets. So this is the color I chose for February, and it says February 1st. I wrote a reminder to myself to choose a new colored pencil, and as soon as I transferred that into my daily bullet, I went back to my weekly spread, crossed it out with this color, and it's just really easy for me to look at my weekly spread, and just because the colors pop out, I know I can easily see the ones that I actually didn't transfer over yet. So this whole color pencil thing that I started has been really functional for me. The next thing I really appreciate is threading, and that's not something that I shared previously in my video because I didn't have a chance to do it yet. So basically what that is if you look on here, I have a contacts page, and for this page, these are the packages that I've ordered online, and I just like to write them down because, it's easy to forget when you have placed an online order, so this helps me really keep track. This is page 132, but over here I highlighted and wrote go to page 39. And if I go back to page 39, these are all of the packages that I was waiting for starting in August. So it helps me keep track. And on the bottom right here, it says go to page 203. Because I finished up this page and I don't have any more room, I go over to page 203. And here is the continuation of my waiting for packages list. Now, once I'm here on my most recent context waiting for packages list, if I want to go back to look for a certain package from a previous date, on the bottom here, I did the same thing. This is threading. I wrote go to page 132. And that way, it just helps me. It's like, do you guys remember those choose your own adventure books from when we were younger? It's like you read a book and on the bottom it says, if you want to go through door A, go to page 17. Or if you want to choose door B, go to page 82. It kind of reminds me of that. But this is really nice because I don't have to keep going back to my index to look for pages that are the same topic, I guess. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is nothing new if you've watched my first bullet journal video, but the washi tapes that I stick on every month, I found so useful. So when I fan out my pages like this, I know exactly where my monthly calendars are. And it's very, very simple, but it's really like brought me a lot of joy whenever I look through this. Alright, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I actually may or may not make a video kind of filming me setting up my new bullet journal. I haven't decided yet, but if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye!